What's up, y'all? It's your boy Wack checking in with y'all on this sunny day up here. Hoping everybody's doing cool. Uh, Everything's cool here, you know what I mean? Uh, you know, 10 toes on deck, you know what I'm saying? Ready for whatever. But I thought I'd slide through and just share a story I was thinking about last night, man. Uh, so, in the county jail, man, you hear all kinds of stories about prison and how bad it's going to be, how violent it's going to be. So, naturally, being an 18-year-old kid, you're apprehensive, you know what I mean? And but one of the main things I was told was, hey, bro, them transport officers ain't no joke. The dudes in the black jumpsuits. So the transportation officers that transfer inmates from prison to prison, county jails to prison and all that, they wear black jumpsuits. They ain't no joke. And most of them dudes got bars on their arms, meaning they got years. I think for each bar on their arm is 3 years of service. So you got dudes on there, man, you know what I'm saying, that went from their wrist to their elbow, damn near, you know what I'm saying? So, 30 years of service, 28 years of service or whatever. And they're strict, you know what I'm saying? They run a tight ship, literally and figuratively, you know what I'm saying? They tell you when the bus is moving, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? When it stops, you know what I mean? You can talk, but keep it to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? They're just firm. You know what I mean? One of the things is that I was told was like, man, don't fuck with them because they'll whoop your ass and then they'll take you on a tour of the state of California, meaning they're gonna beat your ass and then while you heal, you'll be on a bus. You'll go from that prison to that prison to that prison to that prison to that prison. I'm not sure how many state prisons there is, 33, 34, something like that. I lost count. But so you can imagine, you know what I mean? You're going on a bus tour, you know what I'm saying? And I heard about it, you know what I mean? And I've always had a problem with authority, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest reasons why I ended up in prison. I don't like people telling me what to do. I still, to this day, I don't like having people tell me what to do. And I definitely don't like people talking to me like I'm some kind of a kid. So, the homies used to be like, man, you got a big mouth, homie, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You can't whoop on them like you be whooping on the deputies here in the county jail. Now, I had gotten into it a couple of times with the deputies in the county jail. Got the elevator treatment in South Bay, you know what I'm saying, where they whooped on me. This and that, you know what I mean? But nothing like, nothing spectacular, right? So, so I remember the night they came and picked us up from Bailey, George Bailey, which anybody from San Diego knows George Bailey is right across the street from Donovan. So it's not even really a bus ride. It's basically put you on a bus, shackle you on, and, you know what I mean, you blink your eye and you're at Donovan, literally across the street. So I didn't really have no interaction. I don't remember if it was the sheriff that took us to Donovan that day or it was CDC. So anyways, I get to Donovan, whatever, go through, the reception yard, get into the little bullshit. I got into it with the NLRs and all them. And then they put me on a bus to Hatchapee. Now, I remember this morning, it was foggy as a motherfucker, right? And so they gave us sack lunches for breakfast that morning in R&R before we left. And, and I'm coming out of Ad Seg. I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, you wake a motherfucker up at fucking 2 in the morning. Then 5, 6, 7 rolls around, and now you want to toss us a sack lunch. So I'm kind of like pissed, you know what I'm saying? And transportation officers get there, and they walk in, and you can tell, man, them dudes and females, like literally, they think they're the shit. You know what I mean? They you know, they definitely own the space that they operate in. You know what I'm saying? You know, they just, you know, they wear the dark sunglasses. Like I said, they got the black jumpsuits. Uh, you know, their jumpsuits are fucking flawless, like no wrinkles. They got the creases down them. I mean, just, you know, straight Marine drill instructor type shit. And some of them wear them fucking hats like that too, the Smokey the Bear hats. Um, and they come in, they got their dark sunglasses on. You know, it's like 6 in the morning, bro. It's foggy as fuck outside. You know, you're coming into a well-lit fucking receiving and release, and these motherfuckers got glasses on like they're the fucking Terminator or something, right? And they got, you know... And it was a female with them, and she was a sergeant, right? Same thing, you know. Jumpsuit fucking to a T, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, you know, ironed up, you know, fucking, you know, black sunglasses, fucking makeup and shit, you know what I mean? And you could just tell that she thought she was the shit, and she was one of them female staff that enjoyed the attention of the males, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, what stupid ass dudes fail to realize is, you know, them broads know what they're doing, you know what I mean? And they're only gonna cross you up, you feel me? Me, I always, like, you know, I always stayed away from the female COs or female staff, like the MTAs or the damn, what are them people that come around every day and add SEG and ask you if you're all right? Site techs, right? And, you know, I'd have cellies that, man, you know what I mean? Any female would come by the door, you know what I mean? They'd want to chop it up with them, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But, you know, it was just, you know, taboo for me to do, because I felt like by doing that, you're giving them, by sweating them, you're giving them the power. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, they know that they're in an environment full of, dudes. You know what I'm saying? That haven't been around females in years. You know what I'm saying? Are never gonna be able to be around females for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like it's you know, it's taboo. Like, I'm not gonna give them the power, they have it already. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so this little sergeant, you know, she comes by the cage I'm in and shit, and she's like, and I'm like, I make a comment something about, you know, the sack lunch, and like, man, that's all y'all giving us, you know what I'm saying? No breakfast. And like, she stopped, picked up her glasses on her thing, and she said, who do you think you are? Or she said, who are you? And I said, it don't matter who I am, I'm asking you a question. And she immediately, like, turned around and said something to one of the other dudes, right? And he came over there, and then the other dude came over there. So now I got these 3 clowns standing in front of me while I'm in this cage, right? Now keep in mind, y'all, I'm 18 years old. Buck 65 soaking wet. You know, pimples on my face, maybe 5 or 6 hairs on my chin. Just a young pup, man. Young street punk, right? And one of the dudes just start talking shit, right? Like, oh, you don't know what's up, man. Oh, you got a K number? Fuck. He said, I was doing this when you were born, son. And I said, I ain't your motherfucking son, homeboy. He said, well, I ain't your homeboy. I said, you damn right you ain't. And he said, okay, well, we'll address you later. I got shit to do. Yeah, whatever. All right. So they start loading motherfuckers on them. They start getting, start pulling out the shackles and shit, the chains, the cuffs, and all that. And they start pulling motherfuckers out of the holding tank, and then they get us, the ones that's in AdSeg. They get us, and when you're in AdSeg and you go to another pen, you have to go to AdSeg before you're released to the main line, right? So I knew, you know what I mean? Like, I already knew, you know what I'm saying? I was going to go in one of the cages. And so we get on the bus and shit, and put me in a little cage and shit, and there was an older essay that was sitting in front of me. He was going to the shoe, to actually shoe, and he said, he was an older cat, you know what I mean, probably in his late 30s, early 40s. You could tell he was a veterano, you know what I mean? He'd been doing this, and he said, kind of like half turn around. He said, hey, Holmes. He said, bro, you're not going to win, youngster. He was like, he said, it's none of my business, man. He said, you're not my people, but he said, when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do, He said it's best for you to keep quiet and let them go on about their business. And, so when he said that, I was like, okay. For a Southsider to say something to me, an older Southsider at that, one that you could tell been around the block a couple times. It was kind of, it kind of made me think, right? Like, all right, man, maybe I'm tripping. And get on the bus and shit, whatever. They finish loading up everybody and shit, get all the paperwork and all the shit, property and shit. And, they don't say nothing else to me right there, right? So, they tell everybody the rules. Hey, when the bus is stopped, you can talk, you know what I mean? But when this motherfucking bus is rolling, you shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? You're gonna get one warning, and then the radio's gonna be fucking silence, and we're all gonna be sitting here in the fucking silence as we take this trip. Okay, cool, you know what I mean? So motherfuckers, and motherfuckers pretty much obliged with it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because nobody, you gotta think about it, a lot of us, we're coming from AdSeg or reception at Donovan, and we hadn't heard the radio, in a minute. So hearing the radio is always, it's a plus, right? And, they usually play the like the hip hop station or whatever, oldie station or whatever. Excuse me. So we take off and shit, and I'm like, okay, cool, you know what I mean? Like, all right, ain't gonna be no big deal, whatever. Get up to Tehachapi, man, and pull, they pull everybody off the bus, and they do the cages last, right? And I remember the essay telling me that usually they take the cages off first. And I'm like, oh shit. And sure enough, homie, they came and got everybody on there. And then they came and got me. And the female CEO told me, she said, if you weren't 18 years old, she said, if I didn't take the time to read your file, to look at your file, and find out that you were as old as my son is, my youngest son is, she said you'd probably be visiting all the prisons in the state of California for the next month or so. She said, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, the next time you get on one of these buses, you mind your manners. And she said, when you see us in black, just know we're the Grim Reaper of CDC. And I'm like looking at her like, I really wanted to say something, right? But something told me inside, like, hey, just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And so I did, you know. Anybody that's been through CDC has heard the horror stories of transportation. Whether, they lose your property on purpose. You go to Tehachapi and your property ends up in high desert. And then you don't get that for 2 to 3 months. Mail, because they do reroute mail. Just, whooping your ass, you know what I'm saying? Whoop your ass and then stand you upside down in a cage. Literally. Like I said, taking a tour of California. So, I was lucky I escaped that, you know what I'm saying? But really didn't learn my lesson as far as the powers that be in Rome do as the Romans do. Because, I got into it with the CO at Tehachapi as well, and then ended up catching my shoe for having to take off on the police. But that's a whole other story in itself. You know what I mean? And I was laying here last night and I was thinking about it, like, man, I'm like, damn, them transportation officers, them dudes are like the special forces of the CDC police. You know what I mean? They're like, you can always tell the difference. Even they do wear the black jumpsuits, which makes them stand out. But within that, of them wearing that black jumpsuit, I mean, they're creased up, their boots are fucking spit shine. Like I said, they wear the fucking dark glasses like they're fucking the Terminator, I'll be back. Yeah, so they're different, you know what I mean? And like I said, they're all veterans. They've all, when I say veterans, I mean, they're, none of them are new to CDC. They've been working for a while, you know what I mean? So they're the ones not to fuck with, you know what I mean? So if any of y'all are hard-headed enough to end up in prison in California, man, don't fuck with the transport officers. You know what I mean? Them dudes ain't no joke. You know what I mean? They will fuck your program up. You know what I'm saying? They will fuck you up. And it's just best to, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do. But hopefully, these youngsters out here that watch these prison genre channels can hear enough bad stories to get it in their mind that, I'm not going to prison. I'm not going through that shit. That would be the best thing. That's why I come on here and talk about shit. You know what I'm saying? So if I could deter one, then I feel my job is done. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Billy. Everybody give a prayer for Billy's wife. When he wants to give details, he can. Billy Jump, you know what I'm saying? You're in our prayers. We love you, brother. And everybody else, prayers up for everybody. You know what I mean? Remain firm. stand hard, 10 toes on deck. You know what I mean? Pursue what you want to do, like a cheetah pursuing gazelle. You know what I mean? Be positive. You know, let's be thankful for what we do have instead of what we don't have. You know what I mean? And as always, like I always say, if you can bless somebody that's less off than you are, do that. You know, we can't change the world, but we can maybe initiate some of that change. With that being said, one love, y'all. Until next time, man, peace and blessings. Thank you very much. I'm humble for y'all's support. Peace.